back to the channel. It's Mark from PowerSonic, and I just thought I'd run through the TIS Multifunction Pro tester because I have rather excitingly purchased the clamp, so the additional clamp. You can see that's quite a big thing. It's the HT96U, and you use it for the power quality analysis and earth leakage measurements. So in this particular instance, I've got the test set plugged into this single phase socket circuit. This is the 3-phase supply and distribution board. I'm just going to look at it in a single phase situation because it's easier to demonstrate rather than having to open up the board. We don't have any 3-phase equipment in this office at all. It's just the way the place has been wired, and you can see here the sockets are on L2. It's a 32 amp radial circuit, and I've got the L2 conductor here, so we can get the clamp just around that. So if I pop that around there now, you can see I've got the socket circuit turned on. If I get as close as I can, I'll try and show you this on screen. The lighting's affecting it a little bit. If we go to power quality analysis, you can see there it's opened up that menu. Try and get it on camera if we can. So it's measuring 242 volts, 5 amps, 50 hertz near enough, and we've got 1.2 kilowatts on there, 1.2 kVA, and a power factor of 0.99. We'll just pop that back down, and that's because in the corner there I've got a heater plugged in. There's nothing else on this circuit at all at the moment, just the heater in the corner. It's set to 1200 watts, and I'll just go and turn it up because it will go up to 2 kilowatts, 2 kilowatt heater. So if I pop that up, hopefully the thermostat doesn't kick in like it did just then. And you can see now, if I come a little bit closer, it's measuring 241.5 volts. We've got 8 amps on there, still 50 hertz, and we're showing 1.92 kilowatts. It's jumping between there, and we've got a power factor of 0.99. So I mean, that's what we'd expect to see from that little heater there plugged in the corner. There's no other load on that circuit, and we've got the clamp around the L2 conductor there. So as soon as I take that off, I come back and show you this test set for power quality analysis. It's not going to show you any information to do with the current or what's been consumed unless you've got the clamp. So the clamp just pops in the back there, and I'll show you how that connects and disconnects a bit later on in the video. So I just pop that back down on there, and we go back around the L2 conductor, and you can see straight away it's popping up with the 2 kilowatts again and the power factor of 0.99. If you go into the graph menu, you can see on there it does go down to the 25th, and that's all downloadable to the SD card, so you can transfer that information as well to the software that comes with a multifunction tester and have a play around with that on your laptop, desktop, and see exactly what's been recorded. So I mean, in a multifunction test instrument, to have some power quality analysis, it is quite good. I mean, it saves getting the data logger out and having a look at what's going on. I mean, we do have them. I wouldn't leave the multifunction tester on site recording for a period of days and weeks. But when you're on site doing some measurements and just think, I'll just check that, it saves going to get the data logger power quality analysis equipment out, and you can just use this, and it seems to work pretty well from the little experiments I've run on it this morning. So if I go back into the power quality analysis again, and I'll just drop that heater down to 1200 watts because it's getting a bit warm in here. I'll put that back down. Thermostat's kicking in and out, so it will adjust, but you see it's dropped back down to 5 amps and the 1.2 kilowatts again. So if we go to the home menu now, I'll turn this socket off, and we can disconnect these because you don't need these particular leads for the current leakage. So I can get a bit closer with this one because this lead's a bit longer. And if we go into leakage current, it shows you there that you need to connect the probe. So while we're on with that, I'll show you that the probe won't pull out, it's fixed firmly, and there's a little release lever that you need to push. And you can see on there, there's quite 3 small pins in there. And I think that's been designed in this way because you don't want to be damaging them, so it locks itself in nice and tight on there, so you're not going to be ruining the lead. I mean, this accessory is, you know, it's a considerable expense. it's not something that you're going to want to be getting damaged, so it's good that there's been a bit of thought in the connector there. So if we remove the clamp now, and you can see I've gone into the leakage measurement clamp, and if we pop it around all of the conductors, so this is this 3-phase board, and we've got a couple of socket circuits and the lighting circuits. Obviously the lights are all on, and we're measuring 2 milliamps there of leakage current, and if we adjust that actually to 50 amps on there, and 100, so you can change the scale as well. So I will keep it onto the scale that we need it for this particular measurement. So we're showing 2 milliamps, but it is adjustable like you have on most of your clamp meters. So if you're going into a domestic property, for example, where you're looking at perhaps changing a consumer unit, so you're just at the quotation stage advising the client of an EICR, you can have a pretty good idea, as we all do when we're first going out to quote, if there's leakage current on the earthing, protective earthing conductors, then you know there's chances are we've got a few issues in there to find. Preps you a little bit time-wise on the EICR, and obviously if it's on the multifunction tester, you can do a little IR reading as well. So if I pop it around just the earthing conductorness this time, so we're on just that one, and you can see it's measuring the 2 milliamps still. Pop that up. So this works in both ways. There are some clamp meters for earth leakage current measurement that don't work on the earthing conductors. They only work around the phases and the neutral. This does both, so you can pop it in this instance as I've done across all 3 phases and the neutral conductor, and then just across the earthing conductor on its own, and we're measuring the same leakage current. Obviously if this was a single phase and you were measuring with the line conductor and neutral, you'd put both of those through the clamp meter and take that measurement, and then you could also go around the earthing conductor and take the measurement there as well. This records both. I'm not going to split these cables apart to demonstrate that on this 3-phase head, but yeah, it's a handy feature, and again those results are savable, so you can go into a property, quickly take those measurements and save them and have a little look later. So when you're prepping your quote, thinking this EICR before consumer unit change is maybe going to take me a little bit longer than something where you're not, you know, we all get a feel for it, don't we? When you measure for the earth leakage, you know that something's maybe going to take you a little bit longer than it otherwise would, because there's a few gremlins in there to find. And yeah, that's that one really. It's a nice test set. I've been using it quite a lot in the last week or two. We got it primarily to use for the EV installs we're going to be doing, so we've got it as part of the EV kit. You can see that the EV stuff's just up there behind my shoulder, and yeah, once we get a few of those installs underway, we can demonstrate the kit as a whole, testing some electric vehicle charge points. But I've just been playing around with it just to get used to the tester itself. I've never used a TIS multifunction tester before. I'm impressed with the touch screen. That's a real nice feature. Traditionally I use Mega test instruments, still do. But yeah, I just thought I'd familiarise myself with how this works, and once I found out it could do power quality analysis and earth leakage measurements, it was something that I definitely wanted to investigate further, and it's now going to be a useful addition to the toolbox when we're out on site, and being able to make those measurements from a multifunction tester rather than dragging more bits and pieces in from the van is a good thing. Like I say, the clamp meter it's HT96U. I did try and find it myself on the internet, and then in the end I had to contact Steve from TIS and ask him where you get it from, and he was really good, sorted out on next day delivery, and yeah, fantastic little thing. I'm going to make a lot of use of this, I know I am already, and just need to make sure that I understand exactly how the equipment works. So I was having a little play around with it this morning and thought I'd do a video myself if anyone else was wondering if you've got the clamp meter and you want to see exactly how it works. I'll quickly run through it, take it off the conduit bender there. Made a nice little prop for the tester. So you can see again into the home menu if I come a little bit closer. This is one of the things that I really like about it, the touch screen, so you can go into the power quality analysis again, and you can see now everything's disconnected. It's showing absolutely nothing, as you'd expect. And that was what got me head scratching to start with when I was fiddling around with it. It's like, it shows power quality analysis, but how the hell do you do power quality analysis. It was only then when I realised, of course, you're going to need some sort of external clamp, and yeah, looked into it and got that. So yeah, it's a really nice little test set, and obviously this isn't a paid or sponsored video at all. I've bought all this equipment. I was just doing it because I found it. I didn't know about it, to be honest. I didn't know you could get power quality analysis and leakage measurements within a multifunction tester. So that's certainly a unique positive for the TIS MFT Pro. If anyone has any questions about it, drop it in the comments. I'm happy to try and answer. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Anything that you see in here isn't instructional, it's just my ramblings and musings. There'll probably be mistakes in things, so do not copy me. Alright, thank you.